What's up, craft kids? Tonight, I'm going to draw a hole illusion. That's right, I'm going to draw an illusion that there's a hole in the piece of paper. And to do this, all you need is a piece of paper, ruler, some sort of black marker, paint marker, Sharpie, whatever you have. You'll need a pencil, any sort of pencil will do. A light blue colored pencil, a red colored pencil, something to sharpen them with, and if you have it, which you may not, a little piece of drawing graphite, charcoal, anything like that will do. A smudger. If you don't have a smudger, use a little bit of an eraser, and you're going to need to use your fingers. So let's get into it. 1, 2, 3. It's a little bit strange anytime I do a video without the other craft kids, without my kids here with me, because it's just not something. I've done a few. I've done some illusions, done some drawings by myself, but it's always a little bit strange when they're not here, but they're busy tonight. So without further ado, let's get started. So the first thing that we want to do is we want to grab something in the room that's a circle. We want to trace it. So I feel like these circles from this circle tracer are too small. This one here from this old toy of some sort, it feels a little too big. So what I'm going to do instead is go for the old plastic cup. Try to get it in the middle of the paper, flip it upside down, take my pencil, and do the best job I can tracing around the cup. Like that. Set those circle things aside, we won't need them anymore. Okay, next course of action is to try to make this look like a piece of lined paper. So I've got my handy dandy blue colored pencil, standard Crayola issue. Now I'm going to make the margin at the top of the paper 1.25 inches, because that feels legit. I love this gargantuan 15-inch ruler. It's awesome. Okay. And from this line, after I draw this line, it's my top line. So from there, could make it wide ruled paper. Let's make a wide ruled paper. Every 1/4 inch from there, I'm going to mark every 1/2 inch rather, not 1/4 inch. Every 1/2 inch. I don't want to spend all my time making lines, but so a wide ruled sheet of paper. Okay, and then I'm going to match that on the other side and do the same thing. Okay, and then I'm going to simply connect. I've got a few sharpened blues here ready to go, and I'll fast forward. Okay, next I want to put a red line down the left-hand margin, and I want to do that at 1 inch. Do a 1 inch margin. But I feel like that's a little dry. I'm gonna do it at 1 1/4, because that feels better. It just feels better. Looks better, feels better. Ta-da! Okay, now I have to just drop some lines down in here. And I want to pick an angle and try to stick with it, and I want to pick a distance and try to stick with it. So this type of an angle. I don't have an exact measurement for it, but it doesn't matter. So just try to stick with the same angle. And go about 2.5 inches. Let me see how that looks. 2.5 inches. I'm going to try to keep that angle. What I would do though is bring the It's going to be a similar angle, but these lines are going to get a little closer together because it's dropping into the hole. So it needs to look like it's getting closer as it drops. So again, 2.5 inches. Okay, and then again, this is gonna run right off the page. Okay. And I've run out of lines, okay? So what I get to do now is take a regular pencil, and these lines are not exact. They don't have to be. This one's a little long. It's like you're gonna find out it doesn't matter. And I get to draw in a line like that, which I will then use a black marker. Now what I'm gonna do, the black Sharpie is fill this in. Now, since these lines don't line up with this, I just need to use different gradients, and I can just use a regular pencil. Probably a mechanical pencil is not the best choice in the world, but let's see what we can do here. So I'm gonna start pretty dark down the bottom. This corner right here is gonna be the darkest that it gets. And as it comes up, it'll begin to get lighter, 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 lighter. But down at the bottom, it's gonna stay pretty dark. And as it comes to the left, it's gonna get lighter as well. If you end up making something too dark, or it's not blending well enough, you just use either a smudger. Like I have a smudger here. I've got some smudging capabilities here, although it's hard as a rock, so I need a new one. So I won't be using that, but I'll use my eraser and my finger to accomplish that. I have this nice graphite drawing HB2 that I could probably use instead of this. Let's be a little more sturdy. And naturally, as we go down into this hole that we're creating, even in the line section, it's going to be pretty dark down here. Okay, light can come in at an angle and kind of light this up a little bit, but it's still going to have some shading. And what you want to do before you make anything, before you overcommit on anything, you want to test it. You want to see what it looks like. If we start to smudge and smear and work the shading in, I'm gonna see what you're gonna get before you overcommit. You can see how nice that smudging distributes that shading, right? It smooths everything out a little bit. Sometimes your lines will be too harsh, and you'll be like, oh, I didn't mean it to be that harsh. So you just come in with an eraser, and it's not quite as good as a smudger, but it takes those hard lines out. And you may have to go back through and add a little bit more. All right, you can see it already starting to look like a hole, but you can start to play with that shading a bit more. I think I need some darker tones down here. Need some charcoal. It's looking pretty cool. It's just not sure it's dark enough down here, so I found some charcoal, or just a hunk of graphite, really, is what it is. But I'm able to achieve some darker tones, and it goes on a little smoother.
Just need it to be almost black down here. So if you don't have any of this stuff, it's gonna make it take a little longer, but you can achieve it with a pencil. It just takes a long time. All right, that might be getting close. So I'm just trying to achieve a cool effect here. Just a little light shading around the outside of the circle. And I did find a smudging tool, but at this point I have it pretty good. I don't really want to mess with it too badly. But I put a little bit of that around the outside, and there's this pretty cool effect you can do to get it look like the lip of the hole is raised up slightly, which is to just erase right by the edge like this. Now, I drew these lines in colored pencil, so I don't want to erase them. And I don't want to erase the edge of my circle, so I'm gonna have to go back and do some touch-up work, but the effect is pretty cool. So I've clearly erased some spots that I did not want to. I didn't take my time as much as I should have. But I'm just gonna smudge this back in. And then one thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna trace over the circle again, just to make the edge a little more fine. Just wanna crisp that edge up. Fairly satisfied. That looks pretty nice. This is a great opportunity to talk about when things don't quite go how you think they're going to go or how you want them to go. So I had drawn it, and I found out that I made my angle of the circle, the bottom of the circle, the whole bottom of the hole. I didn't make the angle steep enough. In other words, I had the curvature way too shallow. I needed it to be more steep, and I didn't realize that. So my measurements didn't need to be what they were. I only needed to go down just about 1.5 inches. So I did an adjustment, and the reason why I think it's so important to talk about this is because when you're doing something, especially for the first time, it's not always going to go well. I mean, I think it came out looking okay, but it just didn't have the effect that I really truly wanted. So I worked on the angle. It looks a little better now. It's not the same as this cup, except for, wow, I did that freehand. Wow, it is remarkably close to the same as this cup, which is absolutely crazy. It's insane. Which, had I realized that, I would have just drawn the cup I would have just traced the cup to begin with. So as it turns out, we could have, which is fine. This is a good lesson again, doing something for the first time. It's the first time I've done this illusion. And I thought the angle could be a little less steep there. Turns out no. So this is going to give us the effect that we want. I just want to get this black really, really black. Okay, now I need to also go back to the drawing board a little bit with this and make this darker here. There we go. That looks a little bit more like what I wanted it to look like. And there it is. That's the shot right there. Look at that hole in the paper.
Hole in the paper. Thought it came pretty good. Thought it came out pretty good. I do like what it looks like. I messed up a little bit in the middle. I explain why it's important to understand and recognize that mistakes happen in art, and a lot of times you can just work your way through it, like I did. Mistakes are okay. It's all part of the process. This is the first time I've ever tried this. I think it came out good for try number one. The one thing I didn't like was the black area I had here. A lot of shine on it when I was trying to show it at the end because of the lights that I use. I should have went with something like a flat black here, like this Posca right at the beginning, but I didn't. I went with Sharpie, which is just by nature pretty shiny. Other than that, I really like it. I think it came out good. Check out our other illusions on our channel, Craft Kids TV. And with that being said, keep drawing, stay awesome, bye!